Today we're going to be doing an introductory lesson on missing angles. First things we want to talk about are our types of congruent angles. Remember, congruent means they're going to have the same angle measure because they are the same size. So our first kind is vertical angles. Remember, that is when they share a vertice but no sides, so A and D. Our second kind is corresponding. And corresponding is when they are in the same general area, so A and E. A and E are both on the left-hand side and above a line. Our third kind is alternate interior, which means they are inside the parallel lines, but they are on opposite sides of the transversal. And our last kind, and that would be C and F. And our last kind is alternate exterior. An alternate exterior is outside of the parallel lines on opposite sides of the transversal, so an example being A and H. Now there are more examples of each of these, but that was just one of each. We also need to remember supplementary angles equal 180 degrees and complementary angles equal 90 degrees. So now, with all of that knowledge in mind, we can solve for missing angles. So we're going to start on the side with the parallel lines, and we're going to solve this as if angle A equals 110 degrees. And if angle A equals 110 degrees, we can solve every other angle on here. I am going to change my color that I'm writing with just to help keep things a little bit more clear. So I'm going to label angle A with 110 degrees here. Now, using vertical angles, that's when they share a vertice but no sides, I know that D is vertical from A, and they are congruent, so angle D is also going to be 110 degrees. Now, I'm going to use my corresponding angle to A, so in the same general area, so that is going to be to the left and on top. That makes E my corresponding angle. It is also congruent, which means it's the same measure, so E is also going to be 110 degrees. And I'm going to label these up here. So D was the vertical to A. E was corresponding to A. Our last one, alternate interior. A is not an interior angle, so there's not going to be one that it goes with for that. But alternate exterior, it does have one. That's going to be H. So H is going to be our alternate exterior to A. And again, they are congruent. So if A is 110, H is 110. So just knowing A, we were able to find D, E, and H. Now we need to find our other letters, and this is where we're going to move over to using our supplementary measurements. We know supplementary angles make a straight line like this, and they equal 180 degrees. So when I put A and B together, they should equal 180 degrees. So if A is 110, I need them together to be 180. I can do 180 minus 110, and that gets me 70. So if A is 110, then B is 70 degrees. And that is because it is a supplementary angle, and I am going to label that. I'm just going to put sup as a shorthand. Now I can use my congruent angles once again, but now going from B to solve everything else. So angle C is vertical to angle B, and they are congruent. So angle C is also going to be 70 degrees. I'm just going to label that over here. It is vertical to B. That's how we got that measure. Then I'm going to go to my corresponding. B is on the right and above the line, so its corresponding angle is going to be to the right and above the line. That is F. F is corresponding to B, and they are congruent, so if B is 70, F is also 70. And then for G, we can use our alternate exterior to B. And again, they're congruent, so if B is 70, G is also 70. So by knowing just one angle measure, we were able to find all of the angle measures in this little graph here. Now let's look at our other graph and see if we can solve this one. I'm going to change my color again. All right, so this time we're going to go ahead and label the ones that we do know. I know this little square right here. This tells me that that is a right angle, which is 90 degrees. But we do need to know at least one other angle. So we are going to say, we're going to solve this if we know that angle AHB is 25 degrees. So AHB, that is this one right here, is 25 degrees. If that's the only angle that we know, we should be able to solve everything else. So first of all, I can tell that this right here is another right angle. Even though they don't have that square there, we can see it's that perfect square. So that means that when I add these two angles together, it should equal 90 degrees. I know this part is 25, so I just need to do 90 minus 25. Bar there, make that a 10, and then 8 minus 2 is 6. So angle AHG is 65 degrees, because 65 plus 25 equals 90. And I found that out from using my complementary angles. I am going to write that. I'm just going to erase my math before I do so. So this we found out from complementary angles. Then I can use my vertical angle to solve for this angle right here, FHE. It is vertical to AHB, which means that they are congruent, the same. So this is going to also be 25 degrees. And I'm going to just label, I know that because it is vertical to the angle that we know. I can use vertical angles again to solve for this angle EHD. This time though, it is vertical to our 65 degree angle. They share a vertex but no sides, so directly across from each other. So this is also going to be 65 degrees because it is vertical to GHA. This one was vertical to AHB. Now we just need to solve this little area up here. We can tell that together they're complementary. When we add them together, they should equal 90 degrees. But that doesn't help us right now because we don't know either of those two angles. Unfortunately, there is no way for us to find out without being told. We have no other information that's really going to help us. Actually, I'm going to take that back. We can figure it out because it does appear that this right here is also a 90 degree angle. So we can figure this out by doing our complementary angles right here. So again, that means we should be doing 90 minus 65. Do my math here. That is going to make CHD 25 degrees. We know that because it's complementary to EHD. And then now we can use our knowledge that these two together are also a 90 degree angle. So we can use our complementary again and do 90 minus 25, which we already did once, or we can tell from here, 25 and 65 is what makes 90. So we can fill in that empty this there. So once again, by only knowing one angle, we were able to solve for all of them just by solely using complementary angles and in this case, vertical angles. I hope this helped, and if you have any questions, please ask the next time you're in class.